Hello and welcome to another Legacy League. This time I'll be playing Maverick, which is a deck that is near and dear to my heart. It's got all the things that I love to play in Legacy, like creatures and sort of very light lock pieces, and try to win with damage over multiple turns. It's kind of, it's not exactly an aggro deck. It's not exactly like a control deck. It's kind of very mid-rangey. It's got a lot of sort of interesting pieces. It's very reactive to what the opponent's doing. Overall, I love this deck. If you can't get enough Maverick content, you should check out Dukes on Twitch, both on YouTube and on Twitch. It's literally twitch.com or twitch.tv/Dukes on Twitch. Anyway, awesome streamer. Getting back to the list, this is a list that I put something very similar to this through a paper 1K recently. I was able to get a top 2 finish. One of the differences that you can do in paper that you can't do in MTGO right now is there's no Mawlock on MTGO. The Warhammer 40K cards aren't on MTGO yet, due to some licensing issues. I don't actually think it's due to the MTGO people being slow. It sounds like there's some licensing issues. Anyway, so I think the only difference here in the 75 is I added a Gaddock Teague. This is kind of a reaction to the new like creative technique decks and the new Mind's Desire decks, since Mind's Desire is unbanned. So I added Gaddock Teague, and I added not Outland Liberator, Deeproot Wayfinder, um, instead of Mawlock. So I was running 2 Mawlocks in the paper 1K. Otherwise, this is the list: 23 lands, 5 dorks, including 2 Delighted Halflings, and that's 5 dorks in addition to Dryad Arbor. Actually, a pretty stacked 2-drop slot between Teague, who's I think between the ring decks and those combo decks that I talked about, I think Teague is actually pretty well positioned right now. It's also a legend that can be cast off Delighted Halfling. Delighted Halfling, I should mention, is kind of like an interesting dork in that it's resistant to Orcish Bowmasters, which is literally everywhere in leagues. So it basically nothing. Orcish Bowmasters is particularly good against Maverick, I think, but one of the worst things that can happen is you're on the draw, you play a dork on turn 1, and the opponent just Bowmasters it. That feels really bad. But this deck doesn't really draw extra cards, so Bowmasters isn't particularly strong. It does slow down Sylvan Library, but that's literally about it. More in the 2-drop slot, I have Collector Oof for combo decks, Deeproot Wayfinder, which is sort of okay. I would definitely run Mawlock over this in paper, but this is a card that can sort of recur lands if it actually hits the opponent. I'm not running any battles, which is sort of some other text that it has. Outland Liberator as sort of artifact hate, and Scavenging Ooze, which has been better lately than I feel it's been in a while. In the 3-drop slot, Endurances, Ramunap Excavator. Wrenn and Realmbreaker is kind of an interesting one. It's a legend that you can cast off Delighted Halfling. It's really good in control matchups because it creates a creature from a land that has hexproof, and since it has haste, they can't plow it. They can't really. There's not a lot they can do against that land, and it sort of beats Teferi pretty well. It beats sort of Narsets pretty well. So I'm actually pretty high on this card. I think this card's pretty good. Grist as sort of a one of. The only ways to cast Grist are literally the 1 Ignoble Hierarch, the 2 Delighted Halflings, the Birds of Paradise, and Bayou. There's 1 Bayou. And then, of course, it can be Zenith. 1 Knight of Autumn, so I'm running both Knight of Autumn and Outland Liberator for Artifact Enchantment Hate. 3 Knight of the Reliquaries, Questing Beast as sort of a way to beat the ring, and Minsk and Booze. And then in the sideboard, nothing too surprising here. Deafening Silence for combo decks, Surgical for graveyard decks. Against blue decks, I have 3 Red Blasts and 2 Chokes. I'm opting for Choke over Carpet of Flowers. Carpet of Flowers, I think, is really good against Delver decks. You would play it against Control. You'd probably actually swap out Dorks for Carpets. But I'm opting for Choke. I actually think mana bases are kind of crazy right now. Like people are playing 4-color decks. I feel like the primary control decks out there are 4 colors, and that makes them very susceptible to Wasteland. It makes them susceptible to Choke, and Control is one of Maverick's worst matchups. So I actually feel Maverick, like those decks, by going from maybe 2 colors with maybe a light splash to 4 colors, I feel like they've really like messed up their mana base and made themselves more vulnerable to Maverick. I feel much better about that matchup than I have in the past, than like a traditional like blue white miracles list, which I feel Maverick just doesn't have the tools to do that much against. 2 Force of Vigors for more artifact enchantment hate. I have a Gaia's Blessing, which is mostly for Painter, but it has other applications against some graveyard decks, and 2 Torpor Orbs against both Death and Taxes and Thassa's Oracle decks. So that's the list, and I will hop into a league and we'll see how it goes. All right, on the play, which is always nice. I will accept the play. This hand is okay. It's got a turn 1 Delighted Halfling into turn 2 Teague or Knight, so I'm going to keep this. The Dryad Arbor is a little awkward, but I'm going to just cast the Delighted Halfling off of Grove. All right. Oh, my opponent has just sixed, so hopefully, well, who knows? Maybe, who knows what they're playing. All right. Looks not fairish. This could be 8. No, this is an 8 cast. 8 cast doesn't run fetch lands. This must be like I don't know what this is. Some sort of combo deck, probably. Okay, they've got a Brainstorm. This could be some sort of like Mind's Desire deck. It does look combo-y. Okay, so they turn 1 Brainstormed with, and then cracked a fetch for a Valk. There's an LED. Rite of Flame, okay. So Teague is going to be really good here. So would a Green Sun. Okay, so there's Relay. We'll see what they get here, and then based on what they get, okay, so they've got some LEDs, a defense grid. I think I'm going probably for Oof here. Another bulk. Boy, this is a pretty bad. And then they have a Mind's Desire. Okay. And then they're going to crack that. They see Gaddock Teague. So I think I don't care. I think I'm just going to jam Teague, and Teague shuts down Mind's Desire, and we'll see how that goes. And Teague's uncounterable here. So I think that's pretty important. And I think I'm gonna, so let's see, they have this. I can totally stop Mind's Desire. And this shuts off, I don't know, who knows if they're playing Echo. It shuts off Time Spiral. They'll need a bounce spell, basically, in order to make this work. So I'm going to cast an uncounterable Teague. The question is whether I play Caracas or a Dryad Arbor. I think I'll play the Caracas. The problem is if I play the Teague, I can't get Oof, because Green Sun Zenith will be uncastable. That might be okay. I think that's okay. All right. Let's cast Teague. So we'll cast with white and green. We'll cast Teague, and I have Caracas backup in case my opponent has. Oh, my opponent scoops it up to a Teague. All right. So that's a good way to start. So this is, with Mind's Desire being unbanned yesterday, Gaddock Teague is pretty good. Okay. So this is some sort of Mind's Desire deck. We're definitely playing Deafening Silences. We're probably playing Pyroblasts. Surgicals are probably not very good. Chokes are questionable. I normally don't bring in chokes against combo. Like if this was a deck like a high tide deck, I would definitely bring in chokes. But this looks more like a storm deck, like a TES or an ant deck, rather than a high tide deck. So I think choke's not a fit. Um, Force of Vigor is probably good though, so I'll probably bring that in. What's bad? So usually in this matchup, Swords of Plowshares is bad. Um, Hopefully I don't regret that. I guess I have Red Blasts. And then Punishing Fire is usually not very good because it doesn't, mostly it just hits face. So I think those are probably bad. And I don't really like Minsc and Boo. I just feel it's very slow. Bringing in these, I'm going to be one short. I'd probably actually take a surgical over even the Minsc and Boos. Do I want to cut anything else? I don't really think so. I think Ren and Realm Breaker is probably better. Like Ren and Realm Breaker is okay. Minsc and Boo is so late. Ren and Realm Breaker I feel is probably a little faster. Also digs. Um, yeah, I think I like this. I might trim a Sylvan for another surgical. I think I like this. Let's go with this. Okay, so I've got a Deafening Silence. I've got a bird. I mean, this hand's great. Like, I'm definitely keeping this. Deafening Silence is good against Storm. Pyroblast is good. Bird of Paradise is good. I mean, pretty much everything here is great. So we'll see how this goes. Hopefully my opponent doesn't turn one echo me or just turn one kill me. Okay. All right, well, we're just going to Deafening Silence and see if my opponent can beat it. Okay, no play from my opponent. I will be casting a bird and passing the turn. I need to ramp my mana to get to my other spells, even though Pyroblast is extremely good here. Okay. No effects from my opponent. I'm pretty sure my opponent just cannot beat a Green Sun for oof here. So I'm going to, even though I'm tapping out and just going for it, I think I'm just going to go for it. I don't think my opponent can beat that. Okay, they've passed the turn. There's Collector Roof. All right, let's pass. So I think that this is borderline game over already. A land would be great. Halfling is okay. I lean toward playing the Halfling here. And I think I'm just going to... Actually, you know what? I'll probably hold up here till my opponent's end step and then cast Endurance. I think that's better. Yeah, let's do that. So even if my opponent has a bounce spell, I have a Pyroblast for it, and they can only cast one spell per turn. So let's do that. This just speeds up the clock. I think that my opponent is probably just dead here. And then I'll just cast Delighted Halfling and hold up Pyroblast off the bird. All right. See what my opponent's got. I might go for even Teague next turn. Yeah. My opponent has given me the GG, so I think this game's just over. I mean, Deafening Silence plus Collector Roof is just incredibly strong against Storm. So, all right. On the draw this time, my opponent, by the way, wanted to chat about it for like 5 minutes when they about Mind's Desire and stuff like that in the last match. So I chatted with them, but I'm going to cut that out of the video. All right, so this matchup this hand rather has some game to it. It has an endurance, which is really good. Like in case they're on some sort of weird combo, like a graveyard combo deck. It is risky if I get wastelanded. Like if I go Savannah into Delighted Halfling and then they wasteland me, that's going to be really bad. But if it's not, I have an uncounterable Grist on turn 2, which is really good. We'll see if I draw another land. That would make me feel a lot better about this hand. Okay. I think I'm still going to go with the Halfling. And I would just really not like to get wastelanded. I would feel sad. All right, no play from my opponent. Let's see what they have here. Main phase fetch. This looks combo-y. So I'm leaning toward possibly not gristing here. We're going to see what my opponent's got. Yeah, because, you know, anytime you see Underground Sea, that screams combo. But maybe we'll hope to see one more card before I make a decision. I also could wasteland the Underground Sea and just ramp. That's another option. We'll kind of see what my opponent's got here. Chose to shuffle. No land. Okay, well, that makes my decision very easy, especially with the extra land. So I think I'm definitely wastelanding here. The question is, do I want a Green Sun Zenith? Because if I don't Green Sun Zenith, I have a Green Sun Zenith the following turn, which is very strong. Because if I Green Sun Zenith now, I can't Green Sun Zenith for Oof or Teague or something like that, some anti-combo card. I'm definitely wastelanding. Like if my opponent's missing land drops, like I want to tax them right now. I think I'm going to hold off on the Green Sun Zenith and just attack with the Halfling and go for like a lights out Green Sun Zenith the following turn. Okay. My opponent has to discard and show me another card. All right, let's see what they got. Infernal Tutor. So this is a combo deck. This is exactly what I want. I'm going to Green Sun for, let's see, I have to tap it like that. I'm going to Green Sun for Oof, which I think is the best thing against that deck, against this deck. So I'm gonna get Oof first. So let's get Collector Oof, and we'll just pass the turn. So I think my opponent, so again, 2 Storm decks in a row here. Everybody's loving the Mind's Desire. All right, they're discarding another card. There it is, Mind's Desire. Cool. I'm gonna just play Raminap Excavator and ramp lands here. There's Raminap. I'll play the Wasteland. I'll attack with the Oof. I do have an Endurance in case my opponent has some sort of shenanigans. Let's see what my opponent's got here. Okay, so they've got a basic Swamp. They're going to take a lot of damage here, though. Because I'm going to cast Minsk and Boo into Questing Beast, most likely. So I think we just start there. Let's do it. So we'll tap for red. And let's cast Minsk and Boo. Yes. Let's put 3 counters on Boo. And let's put a 1-turn clock for my opponent. All right. see if my opponent can beat me from this position. I don't know if one hate piece with oof is usually enough, but might be enough this game. We'll see. My opponent could just go off with Dark Rituals and stuff like that. Ad Nauseum's going to be a difficult one. They're not at a lot of life, but if they can Dark Ritual into some sort of Mind's Desire, maybe. Infernal Tutor sort of implies that this is some sort of Ad Nauseum Tendrils deck, or some variant of that, rather than a TES deck. TES is usually not running Infernal Tutor. But I think Storm decks with the unbanning of Mind's Desire, they're kind of all over the place, so. Okay, here's a Chromox. Can't tap it for mana, but you can get Storm off of it. They're still imprinting, so maybe they have a plan to get rid of the oof. Lorien Revealed could have land cycled. Okay, they just conceded. Okay, so again, some sort of Storm deck. Running Lorien Revealed, which is pretty common to play with Mind's Desire, because they sort of combo. Like, this is a way to get blue lands, which you need for Mind's Desire, but if you hit it off of Mind's Desire, you can just draw additional cards off of it, so it's pretty good. All right, I'm going to board pretty similarly to what I did last time. Definitely bringing in the Force of Vigors. Again, not going to bring in the chokes. Definitely want these, and then maybe some number of surgicals. Minskaboo, even though it was okay that game, it's not generally good. I don't think I want it. I actually don't think the Grist is particularly good in this matchup. P-Fire, I'll probably trim at least one, maybe more. Usually I don't like, I can at least go down a Sylvan, and then maybe I'll just trim another P-Fire. P-Fire is generally weak. All right, we'll go with this. Hope I don't get turn one, and hope to hit like a Deafening Silence. All right, we'll see here. Okay, I mean, this isn't the best, but it has a little bit of interaction with Surgical. Otherwise, it's got a turn one Delighted Halfling into turn two uncounterable Gaddock Teeg. So I think that's okay. Let's go. There's the old island. All right, so nothing from my opponent. I think I'm just going to go for Delighted Halfling here. The Green Sun Zenith is slightly awkward in that if I play the Gaddock Teeg here, if I play Gaddock Teeg, I can't. If I play Gaddock Teeg, I can't play Green Sun Zenith. That's what I'm trying to say. All right. So my opponent has a Lorien Revealed, or they land cycled for an Underground Sea. There's a Brainstorm. Brainstorm isn't a terrible surgical, but sometimes you can hit something like a relevant card when they're going for like a Cabal Ritual or something like that, which is sometimes relevant. Oh man, that's even more awkward because I at least could have like Green Sun for Dryad Arbor and then uh, uh, cast Gaddock Teeg. I think I just want Gaddock Teeg here. I think Gaddock Teeg is just better than anything else I'm doing. I'm debating whether to play the Arbor. I think I'm not going to. I think I'll play it next turn with a Wrenn and Realmbreaker and then animate the Arbor and attack. All right, so let's do that. And then let's just do an uncounterable Gaddock Teeg. All right. And we'll see if my opponent's got anything here. They got something. There's an Underground Sea. Chain of Vapor on Teeg. Okay. No. I will not. Okay. And I don't think I want to cast Surgical here, so I'll just hold up. But they're probably going to try to go off this turn. I don't want to give them a bigger Mind's Desire. Okay, there's... You got double Dark Ritual into a Mind's Desire. It's pretty good. Not sure what they're doing here. Dark Petition. So if there are 2 or more instant and sorcery cards in your graveyard, 2 or more instant and or sorcery cards in your graveyard. So surgicaling the dark rituals don't do anything. If I had an endurance, that would do something. But instead, this doesn't do anything. So yeah, nothing I can do to that. Just gotta let them have it. Because they would still have 2 instant and or sorcery cards. 2 or more. Yep. So they get to search for anything. They'll be short to cast a Mind's Desire here, but they could like ad nauseam. Let's see, they're thinking about something. They got to do it this turn. They know Gaddock Teeg is coming next turn. Okay, another Dark Ritual. Cabal Ritual. So here, if they have a Mind's Desire, I give them another card, but this will actually, if I Surgical Dark Ritual here, this actually will screw with their mana a little bit. They'll still have plenty of mana to cast Mind's Desire, though. So I don't think this does anything. I assume that's what they have. Even if they had Peer into the Abyss, it can't shut them off of Peer into the Abyss. So they did have Mind's Desire. So let's see what they hit. Okay, we'll pop this out. So Ponder, they can cast that this turn. I'm wondering if I should hit like Lorien Revealed. I think I'm just going to let it go. There's Tendrils. Yeah, this is just game. They have it. Nothing I can do to this. So they just play their things and kill me. Play Ponder. Yeah, they just play their spells and cast Tendrils. So this is game. All right. GG's, opponent. Yeah, that's tough. So they can just play all these things for free. So nothing I can do to that. Ah, sigh. That's a tough one. All right. So this is just a Mind's Desire Storm deck. I think Gaddock Teeg's good. Deafening Silence is good. And the Pyroblasts are good. So I think we just stick to the plan and hope they don't have everything next game. Yeah, Gaddock Teague wasn't enough. I wish I had, like, if I had a Pyroblast to go with Gaddock Teague, that would have been better. That would have been good. I don't think this hand is good enough. The Knights and the Questing Beast are they just don't do a lot. So I'm gonna mulligan this. This is better. I'm gonna keep it. I'll bottom a Knight. And I think I have to ramp here with the... I think I have to ramp, even if I'm not going to cast Knight on turn 2. I think I still need to ramp here. Otherwise, I'm so far from putting any pressure on my opponent. And when you don't put any pressure on Storm, you usually just lose. So let's ramp. And next turn, I'll be able to hold up Red Blast. And I am currently holding up Force of Vigor, so that at least gives me some stuff. All right, my opponent has a Ponder, which usually is fine. Notably, Red Blast doesn't do a lot against Mind's Desire. It can counter like one of them, but that frequently isn't enough. I'll play the Taiga. And I'm going to just get in here for 1. All right, next turn I can cast Knight and hold up Red Blast. I'm not going to counter Brainstorm. I'd really love a Green Sun Zenith. Green Sun Zenith would be an extremely good top deck here. Green Sun Zenith, Teague, Oof. Probably like Teague over Oof. But yeah, any of those would be good. All right, opponent thought a bit on that Brainstorm, but let's see what they got going on now. They've been able to... Are they going to pitch? Looks like it. Just discarding to hand size. All right, well, I guess I'll just cast the Knight and hold up. All right. So notably, I'm kind of shields down on the Force of Vigor. Still have the Red Blast. But Knight also puts a little bit of pressure on their mana base. It's also going to pressure their life total a lot. I'm considering Red Blasting this. I think I'm going to. They chose to shuffle on that Brainstorm. On that... oh, they didn't. Their Brainstorm locked. That's what's happening here. So absolutely not. I'm going to just Red Blast this Ponder. All right. All right. Looks good. I think I'd rather just Ramanap here and play a fetch land from my graveyard. Yeah, do I want to do that? I think I will, but I'm thinking about... Because I don't have a second Taiga in the list, notably. So I can't fetch another red here. Hmm. I think I'm still going to do it. I'm just going to do it like this. And I'll just play the Windswept Heath, crack it, and then just use it as a ramp. All right, let's get Bayou. And then I'm going to just start pressuring my opponent's life total. All right. I'll have a main phase Force of Vigor up the next turn, but after this turn, my opponent will no longer be Brainstorm locked. I know my opponent's like, you know, they've got to have a handful of fast mana and Minds of Desire and stuff like that, so don't really have any lands that interact with that other than Wasteland, obviously. Really just need like a Green Sun Zenith for Teague, or Teague's probably better than Oof, given that I have Force of Vigor in my hand. Although I guess Force of Vigor will be uncastable if I get Teague. But I have a 2-turn clock for my opponent, so they have to gotta do something. I know they're Brainstorm locked this turn, because they put 2 back on the Brainstorm, drew the Ponder, pondered. Okay. Chain of Vapor on the Knight. Okay. They're probably just buying time here. That's fine. That is a hell of a draw. That is a hell of a draw. Well, we play the Windswept Heath from the graveyard again. I'll just get another Savannah. Maybe I'll get a basic. No, they're not doing anything here. Okay, so let's just cast the Knight. White, green, colorless. We'll cast the Knight. We'll cast the Deafening Silence. And then we'll just attack. So they need another Chain of Vapor or something like it in order to do anything. Otherwise, they can't get through the Deafening Silence. They're no longer Brainstorm locked, though. So, and it's still a 2-turn clock. They slowed me down a turn with that Chain of Vapor. Still would love like a Green Sun Zenith here. Knight. Okay, so they have... I'm wondering here if I Wasteland, does that change the clock? This will take them to 8. Yeah, so it's still a 2-turn clock if I Wasteland them. So I think I'm going to Wasteland here. I think I'll Wasteland. I think I don't need the Bayou. Probably don't need the second Savannah either. Okay, they've conceded. Okay, so another Storm deck. Hopefully, hopefully we get a little variety in match 3. All right, on the draw again. Hmm. Does have a double Sylvan Library in case the first one gets countered. This hand literally does nothing until turn 3, other than draw a bunch of cards. I guess it has a Wasteland. It's kind of not that great. But I think I'm leaning toward keeping it. Yeah, let's keep it and see how it goes. This could be a mistake. We'll see. All right, my opponent has mulliganed. Okay. I'm going to play out the Plateau, which lets me not care that much about Swords to Plow, or not care that much about it getting wastelanded. Like, I don't want to get my green source wastelanded. And it leaves up Swords to Plowshares. Okay. Double Tundra. Staff of the Storyteller. All right. It's kind of annoying. But let's just go with the Sylvan Library plan. This is going to be a fair, grindy matchup. Hopefully one where Sylvan Library is good. The Wasteland might be good next turn. We'll see what my opponent's got. And they've still got plenty of lands. Getting another source with white. Or is this? Yeah, okay, so 3 Tundras. Teferi? Sure. Why not? All right. Let's cast the Sylvan again. And then we're just going to Wasteland that Tundra. One of them. Looks like they're cashing in their card off the staff. All right. Urza's Saga. That's somewhat surprising. I guess I have Knight here. It's not stellar, but it's something. I will use Sylvan Library's ability. So notably, I cannot... I can't Endurance on my opponent's end step. I definitely don't want the Grove. I'm putting that on top. The Ignoble isn't bad, plus Green Sun Zenith. I don't think that's where I want to be. I think I'd rather just get the Knight going. Is that better than some like 2-drop? Probably. None of those 2-drops are particularly good. I think I'd rather just have the Knight. All right. I guess we'll pay 4 to get through a card and then just cast the Knight. I'll cast it off of Grove. All right. And this will shut down the Urza's Saga from being able to, well, I mean, they'll get 1 token off of it, but it can shut the Saga from getting 2 tokens. All right. You got it. You have a second Saga. Sure. Okay, letting me untap with the Knight. That's nice. All right. Always yield. Yes. Punishing Fire is good. Minsc and Boo is good. I think I don't want the Grove still. Do I want to just jam a Minsc and Boo into whatever they got going on? I don't hate that. I don't hate it. Yeah, I think I like that. Cool. And that will prevent, let's see here. Yeah, let's do that. I think I can keep the Punishing Fire. I think that'll be okay. And I'm gonna just jam and hope this doesn't get forced. They can make a token. Okay, yeah, it didn't get forced. We're definitely doing this. We're definitely ticking up. And then I'm gonna probably just attack Teferi here. Okay, Teferi's dead. Okay, so they're going to make a token, make another token. They get to draw off the staff. I think that's okay. I'll wasteland the second Urza's Saga while protecting my Minsk. I think that'll be my plan here. All right, they can draw off the staff right here. Yep. Okay. Okay. Token, you charge the staff, and then you get to get an artifact. Retrofitter. Okay. You have an underground sea, sure. All right, let's see if you get an attack in. You are attacking. Attacking me, attacking Minsk. So I'm going to block here. And then I think I'm just going to sacrifice the plateau and get a wasteland. And wasteland's going to destroy Urza's Saga here. Do I want to destroy the Saga or do I want to destroy another white? I think I'll destroy another white. We'll give them the Saga. And then I'm going to turn off the other white next turn, and then they're going to lose the Saga. I guess they can make a construct. That's fine. Okay. Okay. No. Okay, perfect draw. Perfect draw. Don't think I want this. I do want the Swords to Plowshares, but I think I don't want it this turn. The other option is I could like play the Ignoble, play the Swords. I don't hate that. I guess I already have a Swords. I don't need to keep the Swords, that's for sure. I'll just put this on top. I think we're still just ticking up here. Yeah. And then I think we're casting Ignoble. I'm going to Swords this construct. You're going to force it. That's fine. And then I think I might Green Sun here for Arbor. That would be another blocker. Yeah, let's do that. I don't have, yeah, it's not an exile. So yeah, let's just go for it. Okay, got an Arbor, and I will pass the turn. Arbor will probably just chump the construct. They could get a Shadow Spear. If they do, that might be okay. threatening their life total a lot with the boo, because I can attack with the boo for 8 and then sacrifice it to kill them. Of course, they could have like a Swords to Plowshares, but that sort of... Okay, so they're just tapping it for mana. No, they're gonna make a token. Okay, charge up the staff. Sure. You got it. You have a Shuko. Okay, is this Cephalid breakfast? I was not thinking that's what this was, but now this is looking a lot more like Cephalid breakfast. Does kind of represent a Swords to Plowshares on the boo. Yeah, we'll see. Probably no Shadow Spear if they grabbed the Shuko. Like no Shadow Spear in the main deck. Okay. You've got a Spirit. And they can turn this Servo into a Thopter as well. All right. Okay, just attacking me. I'm debating whether to block the Servo. I'm actually thinking I will. Because if they want to retrofitter it, that's fine. Because then they're all tapped out. Okay, that's fine. Cool, you charged your staff. Looks good. Okay, so I can Knight of Autumn their construct and swing, or I can just tick up the boo and swing for a lot. Yes, I would like to Sylvan Library. Ren and Realmbreaker I don't think is where I want to be. The Noble's not a bad blocker. The Punishing Fire is kind of interesting. I think I'd rather just have the land here, and I'm going to just cast the Knight of Autumn. So I think here I just want to tick up and then attack with a 12/12 boo. Interestingly, maybe I did want the Noble, because that would then that would be sorry, that would make it a 12/12 boo. This is only 11. Let's do this. We'll tick up on the boo. We'll play a Savannah. We'll cast the Knight of Autumn. We'll cast it like this. No, we're going to cast it like this. I'm not leaving up the Punishing Fire. I want to represent like Swords to Plowshares in case my opponent has Cephalid. So let's destroy an artifact. I think that's going to be the construct, because I'm going to force a block by the other construct. All right, 10/10 boo, or 11/11 boo coming at you. Okay, jumping with the construct, still takes 6. Go to 4. Yeah, and I have a Punishing Fire held up. I think this is okay. And I guess I have Endurance held up as well. Let's go. I think this is okay. My opponent, let's see, do they have Cephalid Illusionist? No, Teferi. Okay, so Teferi bounces Boo. Teferi bounces Boo here. I think we'll just cast the Endurance. Yeah, I'll just cast the Endurance because he has to hit the Boo. I guess I'll hit my opponent's graveyard. Doesn't do a lot, but we'll do that. And then I'll just 6 because I can't do anything here because it's Teferi. Yep, there goes Boo. My opponent attacks with the Spirit. I'll block with the Endurance. No surprises, they're not. Going to 3, kind of interesting from a Punishing Fire perspective. Drawing a card off Staff. All right, I would love to make a Boo. Okay, don't hate them, the Noble. Yes, yeah, I think I just want Noble Hierarch here. The Wooded Foothills isn't bad, but I don't think I want it. So notably, a 5/5 Boo, attack my opponent. I guess I attack with everything. All my creatures anyway. So maybe I don't want the Noble Hierarch. Maybe I just want Punishing Fire. Okay. So if I use 3 lands for that, animate a land with the Wrenn and Realmbreaker. Yeah, I mean, I think that that's okay. Let's do that. So I'm going to cast Wrenn and Realmbreaker here. I think I like that better. Because any creature that gets through becomes lethal. I mean, can't I just sacrifice Endurance and kill my opponent here? Isn't that just lethal? I think it is. I think you just sacrifice Endurance and they die. Okay, I think that's just game. All right, my opponent is dead. Okay, so this is Cephalid Breakfast. Lots of things are good against this. Let's see. Okay, so Torpor Orb is not bad. Pyroblast is not bad. Choke's not bad. Like pretty much nothing here is bad. Like everything in my deck is good in this matchup. That's kind of a joke, but yeah, lots of good cards. Even Gaddock Teague's okay. What's bad? That's a lot trickier. Torpor Orb is good. It completely, like, they can mill their deck, but then they can't, like, Thassa's Oracle doesn't do anything. I'm wondering though if I want this. I'm wondering if it's good enough. I definitely want these though. These are for sure. It's possible I don't want chokes on the draw. Minsk and Boo might just be slow. And I think Force of Vigor, I think you really want that. It's so fast. All right. What's bad? Wrenn and Realmbreaker may not be that good in this matchup. This matchup is not typically grindy, even though that game was grindy. So I'm wondering, maybe you trim some of the Planeswalkers and try to play fast. Because we have lots of removal for what they're normally trying to do. Don't know if I need Grist, but I think I want to keep it. Questing Beast is actually pretty good in this match because they usually don't have a lot of high power creatures. I think I definitely want Skoos. I think I definitely want Oof because they usually run Vile. Man, I'm kind of confused here, kind of lost. Maybe I don't want a Dork. No, I think you want Dorks. Huh. Maybe I'll trim a Sylvan because it's kind of this matchup can go really fast. I'm trimming a lot of gas here, but I think you want all this, and I think you want at least one Force of Vigor, and I think you want Choke. It's hard to not bring in Surgical against them. Maybe I'll trim a Knight. And one other thing. Eesh. Maybe it's Deeproot Wayfinder. I know I got 20 seconds here. Yeah, what do I not want here? I think Oof's okay. I think Teague's okay. 10 seconds. I'm going to trim an Ignoble. We'll go with this. Boy, not exactly sure how to board for this match. This hand's fine. Hope I don't get turn 2'd. I guess I can turn 1 Noble Hierarch and then, well, yeah, I guess if I lose right there, then sad days. Okay, I'm going to keep. My opponent has mulliganed. At least this isn't a Mind's Desire deck. That's nice. Hope my opponent doesn't just jam a core on turn 1. Okay, not a core. Okay, I'm going to just play the Noble. And we'll just go with this. Turn, and then the following turn I can hold up both Endurance and Punishing Fire, which I think are both good. All right. Oh, cracking the Polluted Delta. Is this going to be a Source of Plowshares? Yeah, it is. That's fine. So now I'll just be holding up the Punishing Fire. All right. Is this going to be a Stoneforge or something? Nope, just a Nomad's in core. All right. Shuko's fine. That's kind of dangerous, though. Okay. So kind of interesting here. If my opponent casts Cephalid, there's not a lot I can do about it because they have 2 things that interact with it. So I think I'm just going to hold up here and represent, and then I'll Punishing Fire at the end of their turn. And I guess I have an Endurance, although that might require them misplaying for that to be relevant. Hopefully they don't just have Cephalid Illusionist. Brainstorm's fine. All right. Second Nomads in core. Okay, so I'm going to respond to this by killing the first Nomads in core. We will get Taiga here and just Punishing Fire the Nomads in core. All right. And here I think I just play the Grove and represent I guess I have two pieces here. I can either Punishing Fire or I can Endurance. Do they just have it? They just have it. Okay, so they have two pieces of interaction here. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to let this go. They're going to start the combo. I'm going to Punishing Fire the Cephalid Illusionist. Yeah, they could have a daze, so I'm going to do it without tapping that land. So I'm going to just Punishing Fire it, force them to have the combo here. They've hit a Narcomoeba. That's fine. Nothing I can do to that. But this forces them to basically finish the combo at instant speed. So I'm going to yield to core until end of turn and yield to this until end of turn. Okay. Okay, so they have Cabal Therapy. But they can't Cabal Therapy me until the Illusionist is dead. And at that point, I can Endurance. Okay, we'll just pop out their graveyard so that we can see it. They've hit the fourth Narcomoeba. Usually they only run 3. Oh, no, that is only 3. This is Cephalid Illusionist. Okay, yep. So the Thassa's Oracle's there. Sort of wish I had Surgical Extraction. That would be really nice here. There's the Dread Return. Okay, so they have 2 cards in hand, no cards in library. We'll let this go and now see what they do. Are they going to Dread Return or are they going to Cabal Therapy first? If they Cabal Therapy, I'm pitching the Endurance. Okay, they're just going for it. They flash back Dread Return targeting Thassa's Oracle. I will exile the Ramanap and pitch cast Endurance. Endurance is resolved. So we'll put their graveyard back. So the game's not over. Dread Return is no longer there, so can't that doesn't do anything. They can get in for 2. They still have 2 cards in hand, but I have Punishing Fire, so I guess we'll get the Punishing Fire back. All right, no, cool. All right. I'm just going to play a Plateau and immediately hit the Nomads in core again. All right. So Dread Return is no longer in their library, so they can't. The Thassa's Oracle win is not really on the table. And now I can get back both Punishing Fires. Yes. And yes. All right. Have 2 Punishing Fires. Oh, Endurance is a great draw. I'll just play a Wooded Foothills and pass. So Endurance is finally a clock, which is pretty important. Okay, Urza Saga is actually pretty good. I'm still going to cast the Endurance. All right, no targets, I think. And let's just get in. All right, this is going to be a slow, grindy matchup because my opponent's got a ton of life, but I feel like it should be okay. All right, everything I have is an instant, so let's see what my opponent's got. Okay, they have Urza Saga. All right, let's cast another Endurance. Still no targets. Debating whether to Punishing Fire. I think it's not really worth it. I'm debating also whether to fetch out Dryad Arbor. I think that's also not worth it. I think we'll just pass the turn here. That's pretty good. Let's get in with the Endurances. And I will cast... Okay, they've Swords to 1, that's fine. I will cast the Punishing Fire on their turn against the Urza Saga, the construct. They'll probably get a Retrofitter Foundry, which is pretty annoying. But not a lot I can do about that. Okay, you have a construct. It's a 2/2. So let's Punishing Fire it right now. Okay. Okay, fetching out. Mystic Sanctuary, sure. That's kind of a surprise in the list, but that's okay. I will Punishing Fire the other construct as well. All right, let's hit it now. All right, let them get a land here, or an artifact. It's probably the Retrofitter. Yep. Yep. But this matchup's grindy. All right, let's get the Punishing Fire back. Can't get this one back. No. And then I will just fetch here. Do I want Dryad Arbor or do I want Bayou? I think I'll just get Bayou, actually. Yeah. Even though I don't have a clock, I think that's better. I know I didn't have another red fetchable. That's why I didn't get the other Punishing Fire. Wasteland's a turn late. Would have been nice. But nonetheless, I'm going to play it. I think it's better than nothing. I think I don't know if I care about black here. So I think you just keep hitting the white. Because, you know, they're a Staff of the Storyteller deck. So anything that pressures their mana base is good. The Ramanap is in exile, so unfortunately I can't get some sort of wasteland chain going. But Punishing Fire should keep the Retrofitter at bay. All right. I'm going to just Punishing Fire their face and then get back both Punishing Fires. Yes. And yes. All right. You going to make your token? Sure. I will probably just kill it here. And I want to kill it before they untap with the... Before they untap. We'll tap Caracas. All right, Punishing Fired. Let's cast a bird. And we'll just pass here. Bird is another red source to help with the Punishing Fire. Okay, they got another fetch land. The more I can take them off white, the better. So hopefully I can kill some more Tundras or something. All right. I'm just going to return the Punishing Fire here. Right. Sounds good. Need some gas. Ooze is gas. That'll work. Ooze is great. All right, let's pass. It's a clock. Does a lot of things here. All right, let's see if my opponent retrofitters here. They did, which I'll Punishing Fire it right now. All right, we'll hit it, pass the turn. Okay. Oh, they got lots of lands. All right. Well, I'm definitely going to eat the Nomads in Core, or should I just eat Swords of Plowshares? I don't think I care about my life total, so I think I'll just eat an Urza Saga. Yeah, let's just do nothing. I don't think it matters. All right. Need some amount of action. I think all my Planeswalkers, I like boarded out all of them. I expected this matchup wouldn't be grindy. And my opponent has like swords half my threats. Sure. It's a weird time to do it. Green Sun Zenith would be good here. Sure. All right. Love to get like Knight of Autumn going or something. Green Sun would be really good. Choke is also great. Let's cast it. Let's cast it off of this. Okay. Let's see what you got to that, buddy. Sure. I'm just going to yield. Let's see. I meant to just yield to the end step. Okay. Punishing Fire this thing. And now their other land doesn't untap. Yep. Yes. And yes. Okay. They can draw up the staff. Still need some amount of gas. Plains is not it. Might be playing toward a timeout here, so I'm just going to yield to the end step. Needs some amount of gas. I'm just going to pass. I'm not even going to attempt to Punishing Fire my opponent out. All right, let's just yield through the turn. Actually, I'm going to surgical my opponent's prismatic ending here. Okay, they have Brazen Borrower, which is trouble. Just going to take a quick snip. All right, done. And yield to the end step. Okay, so they can totally Brazen Borrower my thing, Brazen Borrower my choke, but I guess that's how it goes. We'll just cast Knight. They're going to Brazen Borrower my choke. Yep. And then they can Cabal Therapy it. Urza's Saga's bad. Yep. All right. I think I fear Urza's Saga more than the Retrofitter Foundry. Windswept Teeth is not very good. Let's just sacrifice the plains and get a Wasteland. I'm just going to Wasteland the Saga. Okay. Yep. And I will kill this immediately. Okay. I'm going to yield to the end step. I know they can like make a guy in Cabal Therapy my Swords to Plowshares, but I think I'm still going to do it. You've hardcast an Archimedes. Okay, you got a second Archimedes. All right, we're going to Punishing Fire Narcomoeba. We will get back both Punishing Fires. Okay. I know they have Pyroblast in hand, or Hydroblast rather. Questing Beast is pretty good here. I will be honest. I can present a pretty fast clock here with Questing Beast. Maybe I won't tap that one. Maybe I'll just tap these. And we'll tap this, even though I don't love that. All right, we're going to do this. I'm going to Punishing Fire the Narcomoeba. Maybe I don't even care about the Narcomoeba. Yeah, I think I'm just going to attack with just the Questing Beast. I'm going to hit this one first. Go like that. It's more important to hit the staff because he can use shenanigans than it is to hit the Narcomoeba. I will hit the Narcomoeba at the EOT though. Sure. Don't think that matters very much. Sure. Do I want to hit this now? I think I do. I think I will kill this now. So I'm going to do it like this. I'll sacrifice the Savannah. I will get another Grove. And then I will Punishing Fire that thing. All right. Well, no. All right. I don't think this really matters. Okay. They're going to hit that. Okay. So I guess I yield through the next end step. Okay. You got it. There's no Dread Return. Dread Return's in exile. So they have lots of tokens. Not that I guess I'm just returning the Punishing Fire here. All right, this is a super grindy game. Okay, that's not bad. What do I want to hit here? I think you want to hit Retrofitter Foundry. Let's do that. We'll get Night of Autumn and hit Retrofitter Foundry. Ooh, maybe I should have got Gaddock Teague. Gaddock Teague would have been really good. We'll hit the Retrofitter Foundry. Sounds good. And then I'm just going to get aggressive with both creatures. We're forcing blocks. Okay. That's fine. And then I will Punishing Fire the Cephalid Illusionist. Ooh. Alright, I have to auto yield through turns here. Oh, I think my opponent's just dead. All right. Well, I'll take the timeout win. Yeah, that did not go quite the way I expected, but yeah, when you're under clock pressure, you have to make suboptimal decisions. Anyway, worked out. All right, on the draw again. Hello Newton, a well-known Elves player. Not really loving this hand in this matchup, actually. I think you need removal in this hand. Yeah, it's got library, which I can hope to draw into removal, but I think it's just not enough. It's a functional hand though. I think I'm just gonna mulligan it. I don't know if this is better or worse. Well, worst case has Green Sun for Teague, so I think I'll keep this. I don't love this hand either. Still no removal. All right, I'm gonna keep it. I don't think I'm gonna go down anymore. So the question is, do I put back Ramanap? Do I put back Knight or do I put back Wren? I think I'm going to go with the... I think I'll go with the Knight. Typically, this is Hello Newton is on like the new Fiend Artisan Elves build, so we'll see how that goes. Ooh, that's kind of interesting. I've seen this card before, but haven't seen much of it in action. Okay. Well, we'll see how that goes. And we know that Newton has a Gaia's Cradle. I think I'm just going to go for Savannah into Delighted Halfling here. Not sure how good an uncounterable Wren will be here, but I guess we'll find out. Might go for Ramanap, or depending on what the board looks like, maybe even something else. This hand would be much better if I were on the play, because like Wren and Realmbreaker, when my opponent has a borderline empty board, is much better. Okay, I'm gonna sacrifice the Ignoble to kill my Delighted Halfling. Okay, I mean, I guess that's fine. Okay, well, I think I need the Green Sun then for ramp. So I think we just put out another Halfling. Yeah, let's do that. And I would like another Halfling. Halflings make Grist a little awkward. Also, Wren and Realmbreaker is pretty good against Grist because the land has hexproof. Green Sun 2. What is this going to be? Fiend Artisan. All right. All right, so Swords to Plowshares is pretty good here. I don't hate that. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to Wren and Realmbreaker. And then I'm going to tick up on the Windswept Heath. Swing at Grist. Attack Grist the Hunger Tide. And then I'm debating swordsing right here even. Yeah, I think I'll swords the Fiend Artisan right here. I can swords the insect token and force him to make the choice, but I think you just swords the Fiend Artisan and, you know, he'll block with the insect token. I guess I can do that later then. So let's let him have a choice. If he double blocks trying to kill it, then I can swords. Okay. Okay, and I'm going to just swords the Fiend Artisan right now. Okay. Gaia's Cradle still only makes, well, it'll make 2, I guess, with Grist. Which will only make the Lair of the Hydra a 2/2. So I'll force him to block with the token again. Love something like a Punishing Fire here. Because pretty soon Lair of the Hydra is going to be dangerous for me. Okay. Got Dryad Arbor. Okay. You're going to kill the Random Realm Breaker? That's fine. Okay. Okay. Well, I think we will crack the Windswept Heath, get a Taiga, play Ramanap, and then just replay the Windswept Heath. All right. Got rid of the Grist. We know my opponent's one card is Guy's Cradle, which is not weak, but not particularly strong here. That does nothing. I can make Lair of the Hydra 2/2 with the Guy's Cradle. Okay. What's happening here? You're going to make a 2/2? Oh, okay. Get in for 3. Okay. I could double block it. I don't actually hate that. I don't actually hate that. I'm going to double block it. And my opponent's got nothing, so he gets to choose one of my guys, and I will kill the Lair of the Hydra, which is a card that I actually care about. The Ramanap isn't that good for me right now without ways to recur more lands, so I actually think that's okay. Totally punished. Naturally. Well, let's go ahead and wasteland the Gaia's Cradle. Or should I get the Bayou? Let's go for the Cradle. And we'll just pass. I'm not attacking with Delighted Halfling. My opponent can get in for 3 with the Collector if that's fine. And so my opponent has just in top deck mode completely. If they just have another Grist, I'm going to be very sad. Okay, Fiend Artisan's huge and dangerous. All right. Not the best draw here. Kind of flooding out. And I think my opponent, they're one land off just Fiend Artisaning for Grist again. Really flooding out, and my opponent's kind of hitting gas. Okay, get rid of the Oof. For 1, get an Arbor. Okay. All right. Green Sun for 1, get an Elvish Reclaimer. Yeah, okay. We're just in an aggro match. I'm going to actually Windswept Heath to thin. This is pretty marginal, but we'll do it anyway. I don't think I want the Dryad Arbor here. I think we'll just get a Plateau. I need another green source. Maybe I'll just get another. Oh, I guess I have one in my hand. I'll just get the Plateau. Man. This is brutal. Totally flooding out. This happens sometimes in decks that don't run Brainstorm. You just flood sometimes while the opponent hits gas. Okay, they buy you per turn. What's happening here? Oh, they meant to do the Fiend Artisan. Probably get Grist here. Yep. They have I think they usually run a second Grist. Yep. Yep. And now I'm kind of in huge trouble. but that doesn't do anything. All right. Well, let's just cast it. Yeah. Just didn't hit anything. The Fiend Artisan was a really good top deck by my opponent. I mean, this is a Fiend Artisan deck. They run 4. They ran them so that they would draw them. So, you know, I get it. But I think I'm going to lose the game as a result of that. Okay. Got an Ignoble. I don't even know what would be good here. Like an Endurance is okay. I mean, Knight doesn't do anything because they have Grist. So, I mean, we'll cast it, but I don't think it matters. Pretty sure I'm just dead here. This is where they get Gaia's Cradle, and then they can basically get anything. I guess you can probably just get a Hoof here. Cradle taps for 6. Yeah, they can get Hoof. Well, that's game. Oh, they just have Green Sun for it. Okay, yep, that'll do it. Boom. Got me this time. All right. What's good against elves? Not a lot here. Torpor Orb is worth a consideration, but I don't even think it's very good. It might be better than something like Collector Roof, but nothing here is particularly good. And nothing in my deck is particularly bad either. This isn't a deck that I have a lot for, but it's also, you know, between Swords to Plowshares and Punishing Fire, usually I don't need a lot. I don't know if they're running Natural Order. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'll leave in the Teague and we'll just run like this. See if I can't get some amount of removal. I would love to play first. This hand does nothing until turn 3. So I will mulligan it. This hand's much better. I'll keep this. Keep. I like the Grist. I like the Endurance. I think it's the Knight. Yeah, I think you just put back the Knight here. All right, done. All right, I'm just gonna play a Wooded Foothills and pass the turn. So I'll probably be getting Bayou off the Wooded Foothills. All right, let's see what they get here. But I don't need to do that on their turn. I do have a Wasteland for like a Cradle or something else. So that's pretty good. Got a Bayou. Green Sun. All right. I will be Punishing Firing that. That's pretty good. All right. So let's play Taiga. And I'll fetch out the Bayou. And I'll just Punishing Fire the Arbor. All right. And next turn I have Grove into return Punishing Fire. All right. Still showing just Bayou here. So I think I'm going to do this right now. I think I want to return this right now. So let's do that. And we'll see if because I don't want to give my opponent a chance to draw land and then endurance me. So I'm going to just do it right now. And we'll see what my opponent's got. All right, there's the Bayou that we saw. I'm not going to Punishing Fire here, but I am going to Wasteland that Bayou. We will Wasteland the Bayou, and I'm just going to hold up Endurance and hold up Punishing Fire. All right, so we'll cast the Endurance. And I will hit my opponent's lands just to keep them down on their Elvish Reclaimer count. And we'll attack with the Endurance, start the clock. Okay. If my opponent fetches out a Dryad Arbor at any time, I will hit them on my turn. Like, I don't want to let them untap with it. Pithing Needle's fine. Probably naming Wasteland, I guess. Yeah, seems reasonable. All right, I'm going to get another Endurance going and just have a clock. All right. Okay, let's see what they got here. Okay, just a Bayou. Okay. Snuff out. Sure, that's fine. A second snuff out. Wow. Okay. That's fine. I don't think there's any instance that they have here. So I don't really want to jam Grist in case they have their own Grist. I guess actually that's probably okay. It's probably okay. I'll just jam Grist. Because they'd have to have their own Grist and a fetch land, and then they'll make then they would have to like sacrifice their fetch land, get Arbor, take Grist to 1, and then I can just Punishing Fire their Grist. So I think I'm okay. You got it. Grist is very good in this matchup because you can just use it to kill any creature they put into play that's bigger than Punishing Fire. I milled my Torpor Orb. Kind of want to get some more lands. I'd love to have more lands than just tapping out everything to cast any spell, but Grist is very good. My opponent's holding back the Dryad Arbor. Careful what you wish for, I suppose. Let's attack first. play the Dryad Arbor. I'll tick up the Grist. And then I'm debating whether to play one of these. I think I'll play the... oh, I can't play the Knight of Autumn. I don't have white still. So I guess I will just play an Outland Liberator. I think that's okay. Yeah, we'll do that. I'll just play an Outland Liberator. All right. We'll see what my opponent does. So my opponent can play the Dryad Arbor. All right. You got a Noble, or an Ignoble, rather. All right. All right. Okay, so I think you want to Wasteland right now, because this forces them, if they have Endurance, to cast it now. Oh, I can't Wasteland. Fair. Okay. Well, I think we'll just attack with everything. Let's just put pressure on my opponent's life total. Do I want to attack with this one? Yes. Okay. So my opponent could Endurance here. They do not. They go to 2 and die to Punishing Fire. They also would die to Grist. Let's just Punishing Fire first and see if they're dead. We'll just Punishing Fire face. Okay. Yep. Okay. That did it. I also could have ticked down Grist, which would be for 4. 1 with the Grist, 1 with the Delighted Halfling, and 2 Endurances. But yeah, I think they were just dead. We know they have a Dryad Arbor in hand. I was worried about Endurance, but didn't really matter. Okay, so they saw the Torpor Orb. On the draw, let's see. Guy's Blessing is not good in this matchup. I don't think I want that. Don't think I really want any of this. I don't think I want Surgical. I think 1 Torpor Orb's good. I don't know if Newton is on Natural Order, but I think Newton is. So I'm going to leave Gaddock Teague in. And we'll just hope that this is good enough. Again, Punishing Fire plus removal, usually pretty good. So this hand's okay. I don't love it. It doesn't have everything that I'd like, but it has some things, so we will keep it. I mean, it has Swords to Plowshares into Sylvan Library, which is what you want. I'd much rather see Elvish Reclaimer than Green Sun Zenith on turn 1. Whoa. Oh, my opponent kept a not so good hand here. Let's just play the Plains and pass. Okay, they can cast the Elvish Reclaimer off the... Okay, they've got a Dork. Okay. I think I still want to Swords something here, just to take them off mana. It'll probably be the Noble. Yeah, it's probably the Noble. I know that they're basically online for lands now. Wasteland would be a great draw. Outland Liberator isn't as good. I think you just Sylvan Library here and hope for the best. I think that's better than Outland Liberator. Okay. Oh man, 2 lands in a row for my opponent. I hope they don't have Grist. Yep, there's the Elvish Reclaimer. I guess they had a hand that basically they just needed 1 land and then they were in great shape. So, well, they're there. Is this Endurance? No, it's Green Sun 2. Well, they are totally online. Well, I need something like a Punishing Fire or a Wasteland would be okay. Wasteland will have to do. Okay. I think I want to get through some of these, so I'm going to pay 4 life for the Endurance. And we'll put the Savannah back. So I'm going to Wasteland the Gaia's Cradle and cast Outland Liberator. And we'll cast the Outland Liberator. All right. It's dangerous if they have another land or another Gaia's Cradle. Both of those are very bad for me. Okay. Many Exalted triggers. Sure. Not blocking. All right. Punishing Fire is great. Punishing Fire is really good. Don't want this. So I think what I want to do is Punishing Fire in my... Do I want to Punishing Fire in my opponent's upkeep? I guess I'll wait to see which land my opponent sacrifices with Elvish Reclaimer, because if they sack the Dryad Arbor, I have to do it on my turn. Okay. I don't want the Green Sun Zenith right now. So let's play Grove of the Burn Willows, and we're just passing here. And we'll see what my opponent does. I mean, they're obviously Reclaimering at the EOT. Okay. Okay, this is fine. I'm going to set an upkeep stop. Let's see what land they get here. Is it another Arbor? I have to be careful, I guess, if it's another Arbor too. It's not. So I think I'm okay. I think I can just hit the Fiend Artisan in their turn. Yeah, let's do that. I guess worst case, if they have something that like puts 2 lands into their graveyard, I can always Endurance and it will still die. Okay. It was very important that I killed that Endurance. Or Fiend Artisan, rather. So my opponent has lots of lands, lots of mana, but no real way to get anything going with that. They are kind of hitting me with... They can hit me pretty hard with the Elvish Reclaimers. Although Endurance should be able to put a stop to that. Uh-oh. I don't like this. Okay, Dryad Arbor's gone. Bog. Okay, Bog's fine. Bog's fine. I don't love it, but Bog's fine. Okay. Anything else with the mana? Could cast Grist off the Ignoble. That would be kind of bad. All right. Yep. Grist is good, but I can't cast it because I have no black mana. I could cast it off of. I think this turn though we're casting Endurance, so let's just put these back. And I might even Green Sun for Endurance. So let's see. I could try to get my opponent to block. I don't think getting in with the Frenzied Trapbreaker really does a lot. I don't think my opponent will block here. The other option is I could get in with Questing Beast. I don't hate that. I think you just Endurance. Yeah, let's just pass the turn. Nothing. Oh, you know what? I do want to clear those cards off the top of my deck, actually. So maybe I do want a Green Sun for Endurance. I think that's better than Green Sunning for any of the rest of this junk. So let's Green Sun for Endurance. Yeah, let's just Green Sun X's 3. You know, the other option is just getting a Knight here. Knight would be very good. I guess they have Elvish Reclaimers, so maybe it's not that good. Yeah, maybe we'll just get the Endurance here. Okay. Actually, I want to yield through the turn. Just in case. I mean, there's a very low chance, but like maybe I do a trick with a Pitchcast Endurance. Really don't want to see Fiend Artisan or a Green Sun Zenith. Those are like the two main cards I want to avoid here. Not as worried about Elvish Reclaimer. Snuff out targeting Endurance, sure. That'll flip back the Frenzied Trapbreaker. Okay, you got it. I'm not jumping with the Frenzied Trapbreaker, that's for sure. Okay. So I cleared those cards off the top. Swords of Plowshares is good. Knight's pretty good. Endurance is pretty good. I think we'll put this back. And I think we'll just keep up the Endurance and the swords. And really, the top of my deck's not that bad. So maybe we'll do this. Do I want to attack in? I don't think I do. I guess my opponent can sacrifice another, like rotate another land. I don't think that matters. I do have to be very mindful of my life total though. Yep. 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 Good thing I have the Swords of Plowshares. So if my opponent just has like a Green Sun for Hoof, I probably just lose. That's fine. Okay, so I'm going to respond to these. We're just going to plow it. Yep. You can do that. And we'll cast another Endurance. All right. And we'll put all this stuff on the bottom again. All right. I like Knight. Still can't cast the Grist. The Minsk and Boo isn't bad. I don't know if it's good enough. But I don't hate it. I think the Knight just isn't good enough with all these Elvish Reclaimers. So maybe, I have Questing Beast or Grist. Questing Beast or Minsk, I think, is my play this turn. So I'm definitely putting this back. Do I want to give my opponent life here? Well, I think I'm definitely attacking with the Frenzied Trapbreaker. Yeah, the answer might just be Minsk here. And just tick up and just make a bigger Boo. That might be the answer. All right, 4/4 Boo. Let's see what my opponent's got going now. Boy, both my matchups, both these last two matchups since the Storm players have been very grindy. My opponent can just grind through those Dryad Arbors, but not sure it matters. Really just hoping my opponent doesn't draw a Green Sun Zenith. That's the real worry. Green Sun Zenith is probably just death. I mean, block? Okay. Okay. Let me turn this off. I got kind of hosed there. Okay, my opponent has a Fiend Artisan, which probably just means I die here. Actually, I can kill it. Oh, they're going to name Minsk. That's pretty good. Actually, I guess that doesn't stop me because I can attack with the Frenzied Trapbreaker. Okay. Yes, I would like to do this. Yes, I would like to Sylvan Library. Still can't cast the Grist. I guess I want the Knight. No, let's... Yeah, I guess I want the Knight. So I can hit the Pithing Needle. Because I have to sacrifice something with that. All right. I have to so I have to kill the Fiend Artisan this turn or lose the game. So I think I'm putting back the Knight again because I'm probably going to need to cast the Endurance this turn. Jeez. All right. So I think we're definitely attacking with Outland Liberator. Present a trade for my opponent, which they will not take, of course. Okay. I will kill the Pithing Needle. I will then sacrifice the Endurance to blow up the Fiend Artisan. And then I'll just pass the turn. So my opponent has some choices here. If they attack with one creature, I just block with the Boo. But if they attack with multiple creatures, one or more of them might trade with the Endurance. We'll see what my opponent does here. Okay, they're going to attack with the Dryad Arbor as well. So everything is at Minsk. Okay, so we definitely cast the Endurance here. And then I think I just Boo blocks the Dryad Arbor. Endurance blocks one of the block there, block here. There's no way to keep Minsk alive, so we just do this. Okay. Oh my god. And my opponent has another Fiend Artisan? Man. Let's see, it taps for 5, 6, 7. They can get Grist or something else really bad for me. Yeah, my options here are poor. Let's see. So I can get black mana, I can get Grist, I can kill the Fiend Artisan, then I take a lot of damage here. But I think that's what I have to do. Yuck. Okay. Go to 5. Get a Bayou. Play Grist. Kill the Fiend Artisan. And if I had one more land, I would cast that Questing Beast. But I cannot. Alright. What do you got, opponent? Attacking both against Grist. That's fine. I don't have any more Endurances. So I can still play for a timeout here, actually, because I think I'm up a game. So, oh no, I'm not. My opponent had, what do you call it? Oh man, and my opponent has Green Sun Zenith. Super bad. I guess actually that doesn't really matter if they get Grist, because Questing Beast will just kill Grist. Okay. Yes, I would love to use this. I'm putting 2 back. I'm definitely playing Questing Beast this turn. I think I want Ren and Realmbreaker next turn, so let's play the Dryad Arbor this turn. All right, and this will kill Grist. Okay. Nothing I can do during my opponent's turn. I can block something. I'm at 5, so I pretty much have a forced block if they attack with a single Elvish Reclaimer. I'll probably block with the Dryad Arbor. Okay, they drew nothing of consequence. I could block with just Dryad Arbor. I don't hate that. And then I just have the Ren and Realmbreaker next turn, which is fantastic. I think that's good. Knight's also really good here. Knight's huge. I think that's better than Ren and Realmbreaker right now. How big is the Knight? 1, 2, just a 4/4. Yeah, maybe I want the Ren and Realmbreaker. Put this on top. Okay. Now I do have a question. Do I want to mill? I guess I could mill and then play the Knight. That actually sounds pretty good. I probably tapped wrong then if I... Oh, I guess I didn't because I can tap for any color. I will get Knight. Okay, Knight's a 5/5 because I milled the Wasteland. All right. You can bog me, that's fine. Layer of the Hydra is pretty good. So I'm going to just block with the Questing Beast here. This is all bad. Did my opponent just draw the Green Sun Zenith? Looks like they might have. Yeah, you got it. Shame. Well, it was a tight matchup, but my opponent got it. Nothing I can do to that. All right. I think this is the kind of hand you just kind of have to keep in this matchup, or with this stack. It doesn't have turn 1 acceleration, but if I was on the draw, I would consider throwing this back, but on the play, this is a keep. You know, I have a turn 2 Scoos, I have an Endurance in case there's some very unfair deck, and I have a Knight on turn 3. I also have some interaction in Wasteland. So I think this is okay. It's not the best, but it will have to do. I wonder if this is another Storm deck. I will probably be Wastelanding. Chose to shuffle. I'm definitely Wastelanding. All right. Got another polluted. All right. Let's see what you got, buddy. Another Underground Sea. Thoughtseize? Sure. You got it. Still could be a Storm deck, could be a like Black-Blue Reanimator. Looking more like Storm, but still could be Reanimator. All right. Well, I think we'll just play the Scoos here. And if they go off, I guess that's a shame. I think that's better than playing the Delighted Halfling, and because that gives them perfect information. And even though it ramps me, I don't think it doesn't help me cast things faster. So I don't know if that matters. I will probably, I don't know, debating between the Delighted Halfling and the Knight next turn. It's definitely questionable. If I knew my opponent was on like a Storm deck, I would probably go for the Knight, but I guess we'll see what my opponent has. If I draw something like a Green Sun Zenith, that might just make my decision for me, though. Looking more like a Storm deck with Brainstorm and Ponder. Brainstorm, Ponder, Thoughtseize, Underground Sea. Sort of smells like Storm, especially with everybody wanting to jam Mind's Desire. Love to get something like Teague. Or Oof. Oof would be good too. Alright, Dark Ritual. Doomsday. Alright. So it's a Doomsday deck. Yep, that was always a possibility. We'll pull the Exile up because, and I'll pull up the Snip because we're going to get to see all of their deck except for the 3 cards here and the 5 that are going to be in their library. They're going to go to 8. I can hit them for 3, takes them to 5, but I'll need to give them 1 life to do that. Okay. Doomsday is not a terrible matchup for this deck. I mean, they have plenty of things that they can do against me, but it's an okay matchup. So there's a couple things we've got to look for. Okay, they're running Veil main deck. That's kind of interesting. Okay, so they have 1 force, 1 daze, 2 force, 3 force, 2 dazes. So there's a force of will somewhere in their hand or in their 5. So that's a thing. There's an Edge of Autumn. I don't see any Street Wraiths. There's one. So pedal, pedal. I don't see an LED. Oh, are they just going to go for it? They might just be going for it. That is a thing they can do. Build a deep analysis. Got an LED. Okay. That'll probably work. Street Wraith, LED. 2 cards here. Okay, and they need to have a pedal or a... Okay, yeah, this works. Yep. Yep, yep, yep. Nothing I can do to that. Didn't have the another endurance, so you got it. Okay. Okay, so these are all good. Deafening Silence is good. I don't think Force of Vigor is very good. Surgical Extraction is fine. It just kind of messes up their piles. And Chokes are okay. Gaddock Teague doesn't do a lot in this matchup. It shuts off Force of Will, but I don't think that that's very important. So I think I'll cut that. I don't think you need Swords to Plowshares. You have Pyroblasts and Red Blasts. So those can probably all go. I think Minskaboo is probably out. I don't think you need that. Even though hasty things kind of are pretty good. I'll probably cut Grist. It's too slow, too grindy. Maybe even cut a two. I might even cut both Sylvans. Oof feels fine. Punishing Fire, I can probably go down 1. Sometimes they mess with their life total and it's relevant. On the play, I think the Chokes are good. On the draw, I might not run them. The Night of Autumn is probably bad. This is probably okay. Still have 18 creatures. The Torpor Orbs are very good. That's pretty much lights out. Yeah, I think we'll go with this. Oh, I probably should have... Oh, no. Yeah, I needed the Gaia's Blessing. That's a card I should have boarded in. Whoopsies. This hand doesn't do a lot. I think this hand's just too fair. Like, yeah, it's got the oof, but I can't rely on that. I think I'm going to mulligan. This hand's better. I'll keep this. This is great. Keep. And it's probably the knight that's going away. I'll keep the Wren. We'll just play a Taiga and pass the turn. Got an island. Basic for a personal tutor. Sure. I'm going to surgical here. So let's surgical. Do I want a surgical polluted delta or personal tutor? It's probably personal tutor. Nah, let's hit the polluted delta. It's risky, but I think that this is better. All right. We're gonna surgical that. Okay, so they have Doomsday, Doomsday Dark Ritual, Force of Will, but no blue card. So let's hit this. They have 2 Abrupt Decays in there. Whatever they personal tutored for is gone. They can Dark Ritual Doomsday, but that's not going to do it. I'm going to take another snip here. Oops. All right. Let's take another snip. Do they have any outs if I just jam? I guess if they have Abrupt Decays. So Torpor Orb isn't lights out, but it's pretty bad for them. All right. This is good. And then they have Underground Seas, but they don't. Yeah, they still have some fetch lands. Okay. Sounds good. And how many more personal tutors do they have? Just 1 more. So yeah, I think I took the right thing. Looks good. We'll pop this out. Okay. Which of these are not in their hand? The Deep Analysis? Yeah, I think that wasn't in there. I don't know what that was. Oh, they fetch Deep Analysis with Personal Tutor. Okay, yeah, got it. Cool. End of their turn. That's fine. Wasteland's good. Torpor Orb is good. So they'll have to get through that. They'll draw the Deep Analysis, so which I closed out, but I know that that's what they have. I can choke next turn, which will force out a Force of Will. They didn't have any other creatures, just the Thassa's Oracles. I guess they have Street Wraiths, but they don't have like... Okay, cast the LED, sure. Could Doomsday, I guess. That'd be pretty bad for me. I think they're thinking whether they should just Ritual Doomsday, set up a pile, hope to win the game. Notably, if they do fetch a black with Misty Rainforest, it has to be non-basic, so that's pretty dangerous. I think I'd Wasteland over Choke, because Choke's just going to get forced. Do they have any bounce effects in here? Oh, they don't draw the Deep Analysis. Yeah, because I surgicaled it. So I actually don't know if Force is online. When I surgicaled, Deep Analysis was shuffled. That's what happened. Yeah, okay. So they have an unknown card to go with Force of Will. So they Force might be online. There's the Misty. Okay. Okay. Torpor Orb number 2 feels pretty good. Torpor Orb number 2. It's going to be pretty hard to beat. Okay. You got it, opponent. So now they need to double Abrupt Decay because there's no other way through it. So both those Abrupt Decays need to hit Torpor Orbs. They had the the one force in their hand. Okay, so they are running a full complement of Force of Wills. Okay. Can't cast the Wren due to double green, but I'll probably just jam choke next turn. Gotta get through that force somehow. And Wren and Realmbreaker, hopefully cast that the turn after and start the beats. Okay. Land feels good. All right. I think we just jam choke. Let's do it like this. Yep, we'll just play choke. And hopefully this, well, not hopefully, maybe this draws out the Force of Will. Okay, there's a force. Oh, they're rethinking it maybe. Yeah, okay, there it is. Pitching Thassa's Oracle, which I believe they have 2 of. They do. Okay, yeah, you got it. Yield through the end step. So next turn I'll play Wren and Realmbreaker. So we know they have Dark Ritual Doomsday. Ponder's fine. And they have 1 tropical island in the whole deck with, oh, they have Bayou too, with which to Abrupt Decay. Chooses to not shuffle. Okay. All right. Deafening Silence is pretty good. Can't cast it until I cast Wren and Realmbreaker. So let's cast the Wren and Realmbreaker. We'll tick up an attack. Don't think my opponent has any, like, yeah, they don't have any, like, trick creatures or anything. So we'll tick up on Wasteland. Start the beatdown. And then I can cast Deafening Silence in main phase 2. There's my opponent's spell for turn. All right. Can't cast anymore. I mean, I guess you could, I don't know how you cast a Street Wraith here, but you could cast a Thassa's Oracle, I suppose. I think no reason to show that off. I don't really want to, I mean, milling to get permanence is good, but I think you just want to, I think we'll just get a clock. Okay, my opponent scoops it up. Okay. Yeah, Wren and Realmbreaker, not typically amazing in these matchups, but you saw my you saw like how important these sideboard cards were in this matchup. You saw that I brought in like so many cards. Gaia's Blessing is good. I should have had that in the matchup, so we're putting that in. Notably, Deep Analysis is shut off by Gaddock Teague, in addition to Force of Will. All right, something to think about. I think I'm definitely keeping the Gaia's Blessing. Or I'm definitely putting in Gaia's Blessing, that's for sure. Do I want to trim like a Knight? Or maybe like an Outland Liberator or something? Choke isn't amazing on the draw, but it's still probably better than some other stuff. Could be a Punishing Fire. Like drawing 2 Punishing Fires feels terrible. Maybe it's that. Yeah, Gaia's Blessing's probably better than Punishing Fire most of the time. Especially since they're on Personal Tutor. This can mess with a Personal Tutor, or it can just shuffle the pile, shuffle the Doomsday back into their pile. Like it does lots of weird things. So yeah, let's go with this. Do I want the Gaddock Teague? I don't think so. Yeah, I think I'd rather have like, yeah, we'll go with this. Okay. And we'll hope for the best. Can't really ask for more than this. This has lots of interaction between Surgical, Torpor Orb, Wasteland. Like, this is what you want in a hand against Doomsday. Just has lots of interaction. Okay. You got to ponder. Okay, chose not to shuffle. That's trouble. All right, we just play the Windswept Heath and pass. I'm not surgicaling the Ponder to mess with their top of their deck. I don't think that's where we want to be. Underground Sea is not bad. Are they just going to go for it? They're thought seizing me. I think that's okay. They'll probably take the Torpor Orb. If they take the Surgical, they take the Surgical. Okay, they took the Torpor Orb. That's fine. All right, we are going to fetch here. I need a green source, so we'll get Bayou just in case they have, just in case we ever want to hardcast Surgical. I'm almost certainly wastelanding here. We're going to wasteland. And then, so they have 4 Underground Seas. Surgicaling Underground Sea feels okay. Other than that, they have 1 Bayou as a black source. I guess they could cast Doomsday off Petals. So I'm going to set a draw step stop, and we're going to Surgical Underground Sea in the draw step. And I am paying the life. Okay. Many Forces and Thassa's Oracle. Okay. They must have drawn the Edge of Autumn, otherwise they would have Edge of Autumned it. I'm going to snip this because this is the current deck. So they're pretty far from anything, I feel. Did they change anything in the board? Doesn't really look like it. Ideas Unbound. Okay, yeah, I think this is fine. I can throw Scavenging Ooze into Force of Will. I feel like that's fine. They have one more Thassa's Oracle here. Yeah, okay. Looks good. Interesting they didn't... I guess they chose not to force it. That's fine. Play the Plateau and just jam the Skoos. Start a clock. Okay, they let it go. So we know what they have here, other than one unknown. So from a land perspective, still have the Trop, still have the Bayou. I don't have any creatures in my graveyard. Pyroblast is great. So we'll just play a Windswept Heath. I guess they know about the Wasteland. Let's not remind them. We'll just attack with the Skoos. I might even fetch out the Dryad Arbor. Okay, got a Misty. We will fetch out the Dryad Arbor. Green Sun Zenith is pretty good. I'll play the Wasteland. What do I want here? So that's what they have. We know what they have. And they could... What would be a good 2-drop? Because I don't want to play everything into force. I could get like... I think I didn't bring in Gaddock Teague, right? No, Gaddock Teague's still in the board, because Gaddock Teague would actually be okay. I already have the Skoos. Oof actually is pretty good. Maybe we'll go for that. That feels pretty okay. Do I want to do that? I kind of don't. I kind of just want to attack. Yeah, I don't think so. I guess Oof is probably better than... No, you know what? I want to Oof after Doomsday. So I think we just attack with everything, and we'll go with that. And if my opponent fetches out a land, I'm going to Wasteland it right away. All right. Okay, opponent. Nothing. Okay. Knight's pretty good. Knight's pretty good. I would have to tap... I guess I could play the Savannah. I'll play the Knight here. It sort of telegraphs what I'm doing, but I think that this is fine. We'll see what my opponent... If my opponent forces this, they do. Pitching what? They pitch Thassa's Oracle. Force of Will. So I'll Pyroblast this. Counter target spell if it's blue. Because I want to stick that Knight. And if they have a second force, they have a second force. The Force of Negation can't be cast here. Or it can't be pitch cast. Okay. They had double force, so that's fine. We'll just swing through. So they will go to 4, which they'll just die to Bayou to Bayou Eating Night if they Doomsday here. So they would have to win right now, which is possible, but it'd be tough. So they have Edge of Autumn, Dark Ritual, and an unknown card. Fetching out. There's the Trop. What do they got here? Cycling Edge of Autumn. 2 unknown cards, one of which is Dark Ritual. Okay, they concede. Okay. So you can sort of see this is very typical how this match goes. Like you just need 1 or 2 threats and you need anything to slow them down. Surgical, Wasteland, and Torp Orb obviously would have been lights out, but that didn't happen. Anyway, GG's opponent. So we get a 4-1. Looking back at the deck list, I felt that this deck list was pretty good. I felt the Elves or Fiend Artisan control, Cradle control matchup against Newton, who's sort of the pioneer of that build, very knowledgeable on that deck list. You know, that was a close matchup. We didn't get there, but, you know, this was a 4-1. I think this very easily could have been a 5-0. You know, yeah, I would need to get a little lucky, but, you know, luck is a huge factor in Magic. Anyway, you know, in paper, as I said before, like I do not think I would run Deeproot Wayfinder. I think I would definitely run Moloch over that. Right now in leagues, I think Gaddock Teague is pretty good. I mean, we saw like I faced 2 Mind's Desire decks. It doesn't really do that much against Doomsday, but I faced 2 Mind's Desire decks, and I feel like just leagues online, there's a ton of people trying Mind's Desire because it's new. So I think Teague's good. Generally, though, I actually think Teague is not that good. In paper, I would probably not play Teague just because I think there's going to be fewer, like the main matchups where Teague does something and Collector Oof doesn't is like a matchup with Mind's Desire and a matchup with like High Tide and also Creative Technique. I think those are kind of the three matchups where you really want this. And like those are pretty prevalent online, and I don't think they're very prevalent in paper. So, you know, if I were playing this in paper again, I would probably run Moloch over this as well as a Moloch over Deeproot Wayfinder. So I'd run probably 2 Molochs. You could even go up to 3 Molochs and trim a Punishing Fire, but 3 Punishing Fires feels pretty good. One thing that I saw multiple times in this league is I only have 2 fetchable red sources. I actually think I want a 3rd fetchable red source, even if that means trimming down to 2 Grove of the Burn Willows. Like, maybe that's correct. Or maybe, you know, maybe you even trim a Wasteland or something like that for another fetchable red source. Like a 2nd Taiga, for example. Probably make the mana base a little bit more stable, and, you know, like going down to 3 Wastelands is probably okay in a lot of matchups. You know, we have ways to find Wasteland in Random Realmbreaker, can -2 to find Wasteland, or Knight of the Reliquary finds Wasteland. So maybe that's okay to go down to 3 Wastelands and go up 1 more Taiga. Other than that, wouldn't change anything in this sideboard. Wouldn't change anything really in this main deck other than the Molochs, the Molochs and having 1 more Taiga. I think 1 more Taiga is probably good. I did sort of, we saw the Minskaboo is sort of like very good in some matchups and like way too slow in a bunch of other matchups. I feel it's still okay to run it. It's possible going down on Minsk and Boo, going down to 1, and because, you know, we have other Planeswalkers in this deck, and maybe going up some other legend to be cast off of the Delighted Halfling. Maybe that's an okay solution. I don't know. 2 Minskaboos doesn't feel bad though. Yeah, anyway, hopefully you enjoyed this video. I think Maverick is pretty well positioned right now. Like, it feels, I mean, as we saw, like all the combo decks, we didn't have a problem against them. We went 2-0 against Storm. We went 2-1 against Storm, and we went 2-1 against Doomsday. So like, I feel the deck has plenty of game against the combo decks, and yeah, we got kind of outgrinded by elves, but that was fine. Like that happens. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you have any feedback on the deck, anything you want to talk about, uh, one of the things that is obvious is we're running Delighted Halfling, and we're running like not a lot of 1 toughness creatures to really respect the orc, and we saw like 0 orcs this league, so that was kind of interesting. But I feel like the people who were playing orcs are now playing Mind's Desires, maybe. Anyway, hopefully you enjoyed this. I'm going to sign off. Feel free to check out, if you're interested in Maverick content, again, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, check out Dukes on Twitch, or check out Strass Daddy on Twitch. Both of them like frequently stream Maverick, so awesome. Have a good rest of your evening.